won't see is you won't see a top on the light bar. And the reason there's not a top is because we figure if you had a bucket without a bottom, you couldn't hold water in it, and you don't want your light bar to turn into a fishbowl. So we built a light bar that has no bottom. It's got nowhere for water to accumulate, and that allows us to build a light bar that will last 25 years in your fire truck. What's really cool is when you take that tech and you build every color, every communication bus, every circuit directly into the module, red, green, blue, amber, and white, in every module, you can have a single part number for any size that you're working on. So when you look at a 24-inch bar or a 72-inch bar, it's one part number for a 72-inch light bar. You want red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, fine. You want all blue, fine. You want all red, fine. It's the same part number. The software changes, not the hardware. So when you're a truck manufacturer or you're a dealer and you're looking to build demos, you're trying to make your inventory simple, this is a single part number that does everything in our range, and then each configuration is a single part. So you don't have a ton of complexity. When you take that simple hardware ecosystem that we built, and you add on top of it a smart software package, the software package that enables all these cool features that firefighters are asking for. Night modes, dimming, ramping, that stuff. When you think about flash patterns, there's an interesting similarity between flash patterns and sheet music. There's little bars of music you can put repeats on, you can change the speed, you can change the intensity. And so when you take a flash pattern, we break it down to these building blocks, you can then build flash patterns that allow first responders to choose whatever they want on their fire truck. If you want short, long flashes alternating on the front of the truck, or you want a ramping slow flash pattern, we allow you to take these parts, build them into flash patterns, loop them, change the speeds, the intensities, and it's all on the same piece of hardware. You can do some really cool things when you have hardware-enabled software, where you can take something like the FireTech Omen light bar, and you can press a button, and you can say, okay, well, the bar does every color. Let's just show you what command on demand looks like. You can turn the whole bar green. Or I can show you, oh, I want to have a scene light. Okay, you can have a scene light. You can do a couple of different colors, patterns, features. You can do any color you want. This thing will go through these colors. Every module is every color. What that lets you do is stuff like water level indicators. So if you want to have something that's truly unique on the front of your fire truck, you have an 80-inch section of lighting on the front of your truck. I don't want to go inside a house with an empty tank. So if I take my light bar and I engage the pump and I tell the light bar, hey, listen to the pump level or listen to the water status and tell me so I can see it from the other side of the convention center if I have water in my tank. I can say, display a pattern that says I'm having trouble with my engine, my low voltage light's on, my soft engine light's on. If you've got a sea of trucks on a fire scene and you look back and see one truck going flashing and then orange, green, off. Indicate to you there's a problem with that truck. You can send the IC over, send the mechanic over. It's all because it's software-enabled hardware. There's a couple of other cool things you can do. My remote got it. One of you guys remember? Oh, I got it. You can do multi-vehicle synchronization. Because we built the system to be modular, you can add things like the hostile alert safety cloud digital transmitters on the roof. And so we communicate over CAN, we talk with their backbone, we communicate over cellular. It lets us do multi-vehicle synchronization. It lets us do CAN-enabled updates over the air. You can do stuff like active load management because every module has this microcontroller on board. If you've been working on a fire scene and then all of a sudden the load manager shuts off your scene lights and then you're in the middle of the dark trying to do mission critical work, with a smart system like this, you can actually tell the voltage on the truck. You can watch it start dying. So if your AC is running and your voltage begins to drop, the system knows, oh, I should probably reduce the intensity of my scene lights to allow for the charger to catch back up, the alternator to catch back up. You can back off just until the voltage stops diving. Once the AC shuts off, you can turn the intensity back up, and you never have to work in the dark. It's all enabled because these fixtures don't have a central brain. They're a distributed ecosystem of light fixtures that have microcontrollers on board and are communicating wireless over LAN. They're all communicating with each other. The last couple of cool things you can do is automatic system-wide night modes. We've got night sensors on each side of the light bar so we can average the light output in the bar, make sure that we're in day or in nighttime mode. We can automatically adjust between day and night mode. You can also do things like digital alerting with hostile alert. Now, I'm going to leave you guys with the next piece of tech. The warning light bar is not all of it because fire trucks, if you're building a fire truck, you've also got to have your body-mounted scene lights. So fixtures like the FireTech Guardian and Guardian Elite, you'll see them on the sides of this vehicle, the sides of the work talking the Pierce truck here at the show. They are the complement to the warning light bar, and they communicate with them over LAN and CAN. They also have a Bluetooth chip on board so they can communicate wirelessly. When you're thinking about upgrading old trucks, nobody wants to new sync wires and do all the dance. You just throw these things on the truck, they'll wirelessly communicate with each other. There are some software updates that will enable new features like that on the fixtures, but they're really set up retrofittable lighting package on the market. The last thing that's really cool is when we think about night modes, people tell us all the time, oh, I want to have dimming modes at night, but I'm not a fan of less light helping you be more visible. I'm a fan of more appropriately placed light, keeping your truck more visible to oncoming traffic. And so we use something called side firing LEDs. I'm going to give you a quick demo. When I have the E-Master on, you'll see that the light is just shining straight out. And so when you put people in park, the side of the light fixture lights up and starts shining light down the body of the fixture. If you see here on either side of the light fixture, you'll see it lighting as BG2. When I turn that off, now it's just shining straight out. And the reason we do this is because when you have a high-intensity point source of light shining out in the eyes of traffic, that high-intensity point source next to darkness is hard to see because it causes a sharp barrier, a sharp edge in light output intensity. But when you increase the light output and you graduate the light from high-intensity point source gradually down the body of the vehicle, you make the vehicle more conspicuous without having a sharp edge of brightness next to darkness. So you can have high-intensity light at night, you can be visible around windy roads if you're in a rural area, and you can have great off-axis viewing by using side-firing LEDs. The last thing that's really cool about these things is that they're extremely high-performance aluminum heatsink. They're not a piece of sheet metal with board bolted through. It's an inch and a half thick piece of heatsink that's servable. You can literally pick this truck up off the ground and hang it from the bottom of one of the fixtures. I'm going to give you a demo of that here as I wrap up. Thank you guys for coming. I'm Sam. We'll see you later.